Hi, I'm Niklas Hallin and this is the Neckbolt Dev blog. Today we're gonna keep talking about character design and specifically about weakness. So Overwatch was released recently and I have to say it really looks amazing. I mean, this is a very good looking game. Now, I haven't tried it myself yet, however, and in truth, I'm actually rather lukewarm about this game. It isn't really my type of game after all, and more importantly, Blizzard has done what they always do. They have made every single character into an incredible badass and an over-the-top power fantasy. What I mean is basically that every character is so awesome at what they do that there is no room for the weaknesses and character flaws that would normally make a character interesting and endearing. These characters are great through and through, and when I see that, I personally just instantly lose interest. These are not characters that I would like to get to know, not ones I can root for, not ones whose struggles I can follow, and not ones I can care about. And those among you who have played Overwatch already may say to me, this is not at all true. If you would actually go and read their character descriptions and listen to their voice acting and so on, you'll see that they have a lot of weaknesses and tragedies. Okay, sure, fine. But A, that doesn't really come across very much in the visual design, and B, so an important part of being a Mary Sue character is to have a tragic backstory, being an orphan with a murdered family and a quest for revenge and so on. The significant thing is that all these bad things, they are in the past. None of the shit our hero has been through is actually placing any real limits or restrictions on her capabilities in the present. There's another game in development in the same genre as Overwatch called Gigantic. Let's take a look at some of their characters. Take this guy for instance. He is literally an amputee. As in, if you look, you'll see that he does not have a left arm. That is certainly placing some restrictions on his abilities in the present. But he's overcoming this disability with the help of his amazing sword skills and his cute mammalian animal companion. You see what I mean here? There's a quote from Pixar that says, "You admire a character more for trying than for their successes." In my mind, this owl guy is way more admirable and intriguing than, say, Tracer from Overwatch, who can effortlessly jump around and do whatever she wants. And look at this girl from Gigantic. She clearly does not belong on a battlefield. She's just a child, for God's sake. Her sword is way too big for her, even her clothes are too big. Note that she does not wield a huge sword to compensate for her fragile masculinity. In this case, the largeness of the weapon serves to bring out the smallness of the hero. But look at her grim face! She is in this shitty situation and she is determined to make the best of it. With the guidance of the spirit of her dead father or whoever that is, she lifts up this big-ass sword and she overcomes her initial ineptitude. That's admirable. Now, it should be said that Gigantic have their fair share of over-the-top badasses as well, like the bull guy, this goddess character, and indeed this demon thing, which is not only an uninspiring power fantasy but also has a really weak substance. But then there's this little robot. It looks like it's going to fall apart every time it makes a sharp turn. Okay, I'll stop now. Now you could make a pretty strong argument that games are fundamentally different from cinema and theater and literature and so on, because you have a different kind of relationship with the character that you are playing as. You are not watching them from outside, as it were. And everyone wants to root for the underdog, but no one actually wants to be the underdog. I myself don't think it's as simple as just that, but I also don't think it's as simple as I have made it sound in the rest of this video. For one thing, it's still true that I personally am much more interested in playing Gigantic than Overwatch, which isn't a principled decision, by the way. It's a reactionary gut feeling, and it basically comes down to character design and nothing else. But power fantasy is still a term that is used a lot in video games, and maybe I'll make an episode about power fantasies in the future. In the meantime, let's briefly head over to this week's Wednesday's report. I have started to really finish up the first dungeon, and I have moved on to making some graphics for the next forest area, which I now call Acorn Woods. And when I say graphics, I of course mean texture variations. With that, I'll end today's episode, but check back next week when we will see some examples of character designs that I really like and that I think are really good. This whole project, funded via Patreon. If you want to help out, you could head over there and subscribe. You can also subscribe on YouTube, and you can follow me on Twitter for quick updates. Thank you, and I will see you next time.